This part always gets me. The image of a broken Knov in the rain having a mental breakdown always gets me. And of course, that's because I have a similar story to what he went through. Let's talk about Knov, mental health, dealing with breakdown and recovering from it. And of course, we need to talk about was Knov taken out of the final fight on purpose because he was too powerful? Yes, Knov is one of my favorite characters. I think that Knov is what every parent wants their child to grow up to be. A gentleman, soft-spoken, knows how to treat a lady right, and looks amazing in a suit. And adding to that, considering that we are in the world of Hunter x Hunter, he is one of the most powerful Nen users and has a very, very rare support ability. We got introduced to Knov in chapter 199, right after we saw how powerful the Royal Guard Neferpitu is. Made quick work of Kai. After Killua ran away, we know that the support is on its way. And we see those three figures in front of us. Chairman Netero, the character that I share a lot with. Morale, my actual favorite character, and the one I relate to the most, Knov. Oh, Knov. First thing he says to Killua is actually very disrespectful and just washes off Gon and Killua as little kids.
相手はただの子供なんだから。
But little did we know that this was a setup to what will come next. And here it is, a perfect character that seems to have it all. A little to no strong emotions is shown from Knov, extremely professional, extremely powerful, and yet he is the one character that completely loses their mind before the real fight begins. I remember the first time I had a real mental breakdown. Just finished 4 years of college and was preparing to travel to Buenos Aires, Argentina, to start my master's degree. All alone, leaving everything behind to start something new. If you asked anyone that knows me at the time, they would have said, I'm fine, extremely happy, excited for that big move. And that's when it happened. Yeah, to me that's the method I used. Locking myself into my room and screaming into a pillow. You just don't know when it hits you. When you're in that state, you feel like it's going to be like that forever. It sucks. It really, really sucks. But now I really find it okay to talk about it because, yeah, this one is nothing compared to the other ones I had after that. But anyway, yes, we're all struggling with the fights in our life, but that's not the point. Let's talk about something else. Scream! That's the power of Knov. Actually, one of his powers. So let's talk about the Nen ability of Knov and give you a little bit of a refresher before we actually start talking about that breakdown scene. So Knov is an emitter. Emitters do love their suits. His main power is creating a pocket dimension of Nen, a 4-story mansion containing more than 20 rooms. When he touches a flat surface and draws the seal of Orichalcos, he creates a portal that leads to one of these rooms. He is the one in control, of course, and he has a master key. Overpowered does not start to describe what is going on. The second aspect of his power is called Scream. A great name, by the way. Great name. He modifies his main power a little bit that he is able to open up a portal between his hands and wraps it around his opponent and then one-shot kill type of thing. And yeah, that's how he uses his powers in an offensive way, because if you think about it, his whole pocket dimension type of thing, that's a support ability. He cannot do anything with that, like he cannot use that in a battle. Only the scream part can be used in an offensive manner. You see, a big part of the plan of the palace invasion was to take the enemy by surprise. While the other members of the extermination team were doing their own preparation, Knov was tasked with setting up portals inside of the palace. And at the same time, the Ant King was occupied with a very intense gungi match. That's when the Ant King tore off his arm. You know, Miriam can be a little bit dramatic. We cannot deny that. And that, of course, required immediate attention of Neferpitou, the royal guard tasked with surveilling the palace at all times, using all of her powers at that specific time to heal the Ant King. And that left the perfect opening for Knov to place his portals. That was until another sinister aura appeared, the aura of proof. Not the strongest aura of the guard, but it was strong enough. Strong enough to make Knov back out. Strong enough to break him. He did what he could, and then it happened.
まったらおしまいだ。あんな凶暴なオーラ。
It is so hard for me to watch this scene. Every time I can feel it. Shown something like this, from a character like this, a character that is really put together, a character that seemed fine, really makes it hit harder. But then again, you ask yourself, why? Why Knov? At the same time, Gon and Killua, Knuckle and Shoot, everyone was getting ready to go to war, and a veteran of the Nin game is backing out. First, we need to understand that the situation is completely different. He was not going into the palace in fighting mood. No. He was going there very stealth. Completely hush. And of course, he was using Zetsu to conceal his presence. An experienced Nen user like that, of course, cannot go into a place where other extremely powerful Nen users are there while he is using Nen, while he is showcasing his aura. He will get caught like that. So of course, he was concealing his presence by using Zetsu. And like we learned from the boys while Bisky was teaching them, it's completely doable to use Zetsu while also practicing Nen. You just have to be extremely proficient in the use of Nen to do something like that. So yeah, makes sense that Knov was using Zetsu throughout his whole infiltration. So when he got a taste of that sinister aura, he was completely defenseless on purpose. A less experienced Nen user might have triggered their aura as like a defense mechanism as soon as they felt threatened like that. And case in point, that happened with Palm. Just a little later, after the infiltration of Knov, Palm found herself in the same situation, but Palm couldn't contain herself and she let her presence known. She might have exposed herself because she responded with a little bit of aura release when she saw the sinister aura coming her way. However, Knov was able to maintain Zets. And that brings us back to what we learned from the very start of the introduction of Nen.
では今度は敵意を持って君たちに念を飛ばします。さっきまでの君たちなら今この場にいるだけで辛かったはず。
ああ、あんたの極寒の中裸でって例えた意味がよくわかる。
無事防げれば彼の壁も破れるでしょう。
And that's what it's all about. That's that feeling that I think Togashi is trying to push. Sometimes you just feel like you cannot keep going anymore. And that was what broke Knov. And yes, it's a true feeling. And all of us has experienced it before in our life. And no, this is not a video to tell you a profound thing about dealing with mental health issues. I'm talking about Hunter x Hunter. That's all I'm doing right now. If you want to know more about how to deal with mental health issues, talk to a professional. And I don't think Togashi, in my opinion, was trying to like shine a light about a mental health issue in that scene. No. This is simply showing something real. That's it. Something that happens to all of us, that will happen to you sooner or later. You will have a nervous breakdown, and that's what it will feel like. Maybe it's in regard to something that you have done a million times before and you're completely fine with it, and for some reason, this time, you get paralyzed. You see your peers around you excelling at what they're doing, the same thing that you have no problem with doing, but you're just stuck there. Nothing to do. I hate that I love those scenes. To me, to be honest, there are like 3 big panic attack scenes in fiction that I really enjoy. All of them in animated movies, by the way. You have the Puss in Boots Last Wish scene. It's amazing. You have the Inside Out 2 scene. Perfect. And then you have Knov. There is no sugar coat in it for Knov. He is out of the fight. They will still use his portals, but he is done. Full circle for him of when we first saw him and what he said to Killua when he saw him.
人は得体の知れないものに出会うと、それを過大に評価するものです。
And you know, to his credit, he pops up in the fight during the end to provide some support, but that was it. We check on him by the end of the series and we see that he's doing okay. Still carries some scars from what happened to him, but that's life, I guess. And the most important thing that we got out of this, I think, is that yes, a mental toll hits us all in a different way. I believe it can hit the same person differently in different moments in their life. No matter who you are not immune to a nervous breakdown. Maybe having a nervous breakdown is just some kind of a defense mechanism to prevent you from hurting yourself, but that is a story for another day, because the character Shoot is a much better character on showcasing the idea of setting mind blocks to yourself. And now, my friends, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The 4-story mansion in the room. I mean, couldn't he just like sucked it up a bit and joined the fight? I mean, if I was him, I would have done it, you know, or maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. But let's be real, okay? The leading theory of why all of this happened is because Togashi had to write Knov out of the story in order for the big palace invasion to make sense. You don't believe me? How about this combo for you? You got Knov Scream plus Malurion, God's accomplice. One shot kills the king. Done. Arc's over. I can definitely see it, and I see why that question would be a problem, but knowing Hunter x Hunter, there is a lot of plot holes already that bothers me a lot. But even though this one was like left, I don't see it as a big plot hole. I see it as it was meant to be this way. Knov was meant to break down. There were too many red flags at the beginning from the introduction of Knov that just now when you look at it in retrospect, yeah, this character was always going to break down at some point, because no one can be that stable in regard to what is happening. He reached his breaking point in front of us, and for us to see him like that, we can only see ourselves having this breakdown. And yeah, that was Knov's story. Tell me what you think in the comment. What is your favorite character, to do like a character analysis of the thing that they represent in the story of Hunter x Hunter. And thank you so much for watching. More Hunter x Hunter content coming your way, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on all notifications, leave a like in this video, and have a good day.